Hello world, welcome back to Not a Bodybuilder. Again, I am not a bodybuilder, but that doesn't mean I can't achieve my goal of getting to 12% body fat. So this is week 2 in my journey to achieve the goal, but before we get into week 2's content, I want to explain why I want to get to 12% body fat. There's some vanity reasons, obviously, why I want to get there. So the average male is able to see their six-pack when they're between 10 and 13% body fat. So that's where the 12% comes into play, but for everyone it's different depending on their genetics and where they store their body fat. So for me, at 12%, I'm able to see pretty good definition that satisfies my desire for what I think is an ideal physique for me. But that's different for everyone else. Additionally, it's a percentage where I'm able to maintain by having a healthy and balanced diet. So it won't be a struggle for me to maintain that. So those are the main reasons why I feel that 12% is an ideal body fat percentage for me, but obviously that will differ for the individual. So aside from that talk now, let's get back to the content for week 2. Alright, so week 2 physique update. I'm weighing in at 155 pounds. As you can see, there's still some body fat in the lower abs, but compared to last week, there's more separation from the upper to lower abs. So I lost 3 pounds this week, which has been about 10 days. It's a little aggressive. I want to maintain around 1% of body weight loss per week. So now moving on to the back. Back, still defined. Not much have changed between the 2 weeks. Progress has been pretty good from week 1 to week 2. I'm satisfied. Now, to pose for the camera for my modeling career. Stick out the tongue. Hey! Now let's do the arm workout. Biceps, shoulder, and tricep routine. Let's get that pump in. Let's start with a standard bicep curl, 10 to 12 reps. I'm really going slowly here to maximize the time under tension. Next, let's transition to the alternating shoulder press, so 10 to 12 reps on each side. Next, bench dips, 30 reps. So here's a pretty standard bench dip. You can make this a little harder by moving it to one leg. You can go insane with this as well by putting your legs on something else and trying it out. Repeat that routine 2 more times. Now for the next routine, let's start out with supinated bicep curls for 10 to 12 reps for each arm. So we're starting with the neutral hand position and squeezing and twisting. Next, seated shoulder press for 10 to 12 reps. And let's end this routine with a single tricep extension, 8 to 10 reps on each side. And let's repeat that routine 2 more times. For the next routine, let's start it out with inner hammer curls, 8 to 10 reps on each side. This exercise has been really good to widen my biceps. Additionally, look at that pump. Look at those veins pumping. Camera doesn't want to mess with me. Camera doesn't want to mess with me. Staring it down. We're not done though. Let's go to the straight shoulder flies. 10 to 12 reps. Now let's do overhead tricep extension for 10 to 12 reps. And let's repeat that routine 2 more times. Now for the final routine, let's start out with seated bicep curls, 10 to 12 reps for each arm. Now let's do the lateral shoulder flies for 10 to 12 reps. Finally, let's end with the tricep kickbacks, 10 to 12 reps. My form is horrendous on this. I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Look at that neck. It's not straight at all. Ooh. Needs improvement. And let's repeat that routine 2 more times. And we're done. Look at that pump. Let's go. Now let's get into the healthy salmon recipe. So first off, I use a scale to measure everything so I know the calories and the macro distribution of everything. So first, let's cut up a couple of mushrooms. Next, let's cut up about 1/4 of an onion. Finally, let's use this cauliflower rice. So this entire bag is 50 calories and only 6 grams of net carbs. So it's a lot of quantity of food that fills you up, and it's not calorically dense. So it's great for when you're trying to lose weight. So let's add a little bit of salt to this. And some chili powder. This is optional, but I like it spicy, so I'm gonna add a little bit. Now let's mix it all up. That's how it looks. Now let's prepare the salmon. So let's add a little bit of olive oil to a small mixing bowl, about 1/2 tablespoon. Now let's add a little bit of salt and some garam masala for the spice. Now let's apply this mix to the salmon. Next, let's make the sauce, which is inspired by a recipe. I'll put the details in the description. Cup of cilantro, 1/4 of a cup of Fage 2% Greek yogurt, half a tablespoon of olive oil, about 1.5 tablespoons of lime juice, and finally a jalapeno. I would probably recommend just doing half, but I put the whole thing in there. And finally a little bit of salt. And let's blend this baby up. Alright, now it's time for cooking. Let's cook the cauliflower rice by just putting it on a pan with a little bit of oil and a little bit of water. Next, let's cook the salmon with some olive oil. Let's cook it until it's like well done, because that's how I like it, but whatever suits you. Now let's plate the dish. So I have the rice and the salmon on top, and now I'm putting the sauce as though I'm Chef Ramsay. Let's see how it turns out. Kind of looks like a McDonald's M, which is ironic since I haven't been to McDonald's in like 5 years. Now let's get to the good part and let's eat the salmon. It looks pretty cooked. Taking that big gulp right there. And let's eat it up. I think some people think this is the speed I actually eat things. I'm a very fast eater, which is not great because you need to really appreciate the food while you eat it. But I guess to each their own. And we're done. Thanks for watching this week's episode. To continue to follow my journey, subscribe to my channel.